I'm Tom Layson, and this is a Northwest Now Extra. 50 years after it first went on the air, KPLU is now fighting for its life. The station needs to raise about $7 million by June 30th to become a community licensee. Otherwise, it will be sold to KUOW, which will possibly eliminate 16 news staffers and take over KPLU's stronger frequency with its more nationally oriented programming. The deal was cut in secret and resulted in a firestorm of criticism for people who think that since the sale eliminates a competitor, KUOW can keep asking for dollars, but in the long run actually face less pressure to use those dollars to create local content. I recently traveled to KPLU's 4th Avenue studio in downtown Seattle to talk to the staff about all of this.
You can't help but notice something when you walk in the door. A lot of the wall space and a lot of the flat surfaces around the station are occupied by years' worth of awards, most involving the newsroom, which employs about 16 journalists.
So I would try not to conquer too much of Norway at one time.
It's kind of hard to shock a journalist, really, and while news of the sale was shocking, when the UW put the brakes on the sale and allowed the station a chance to buy its independence, station manager Joey Cohn says the emotional low quickly became a bit of a high.
It's definitely injected a lot of hope, and people are energized both inside and outside of the station to make this happen. So we're excited about it. We see it as a real opportunity, and I think that there's some advantages of being an independent community station. So we're looking forward to making the purchase and really getting ourselves back on track.
That includes setting up a nonprofit, building a sustainability plan, and figuring out just how to untangle the financial relationship with PLU. Meanwhile, for staffers, it's been an emotional roller coaster.
Not just so that the governor is involved, but also that the lawmakers are involved as well.
Perhaps no more so than for Ariel Van Cleve, who quit a job in Montana and was on the road driving to her dream gig at KPLU when word of the sale came.
Well, there was panic. There was sort of a feeling of, I've gone this far. Why would I want to turn back now? When I talked to Erin Hennessy, the news director, a little bit later, after I drove those 2 hours to get to Bozeman, and I was sitting in the hotel room with my mom, thankfully, Erin and I talked about the fact that we could make really great radio, either for 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 2 days, whatever. Just come and work with us. And that pep talk was enough to get me to come here.
Retaining staff is a challenge that falls on news director Erin Hennessy. People are understandably worried about their futures.
We've lost a couple of people, but those have been deep, important conversations, and I get it. But there's an esprit de corps here and a commitment to this work that runs so deep that it's been very heartwarming that people have wanted to stay and are feeling very optimistic about keeping what we have and moving it forward, preserving it and expanding it.
So that's the dream now, to maybe expand KPLU and its award-winning news and jazz programming by going independent. $7 million is a heavy lift, and now it's up to the community to decide if the station's hyper-local musical sound and news content are worth it.
Being local is everything. I mean, one of the things that we've heard from people through this process is that KPLU is ingrained in the community. Somebody wrote, KPLU is like the Space Needle. So being of the community, part of the community, serving the community, telling the stories of what's happening here, it's everything. So, and again, both on the news and on the music side.
Listeners are organizing fundraisers for the station while management operates the radio station on one hand and tries to organize the fundraising, governance, regulatory compliance, and deal-making on the other. To see our full discussion about the possible sale of KPLU, be sure to look in the Northwest Now section of kbtc.org. Northwest Now airs Friday nights at 7:30 right here on KBTC, and be sure to look for more stories like this one by following us on Facebook and Twitter at Northwest Now.